Whether your fascination in the grim and gruesome began with Scooby-Doo, Goosebumps, or Jaws, something in your childhood or otherwise hooked you to the darker planes of the human psyche. And as horror enthusiasts, you know all too well how the film industry seems to recycle the same stories over and over again. Isn't this the pinnacle of horror? Welcome to Ya Catch That, and today I will provide a list of the top 8 horror films to surpass film critic expectations. Before we dive into this list, leave a comment down below and tell me your favorite horror movies. Number 8. Lucky 2020. Imagine a quiet night. Inky blue skies, moonlight, maybe a gentle song from the cicadas, all snuggled up against your partner. One might say it's a picture of perfect peace until you spy the masked man outside your window. You shake your partner, frightened and alarmed, and with groggy nonchalance he yawns, "Oh, that's the man that comes every night and tries to kill us." A film written by and starring Brea Grant, Lucky details the life of May, a self-help book author who finds herself stalked and threatened by a mysterious man. This film comes from a personal experience I had, Grant said in an interview with Sci-Fi Fangirls. "I had a stalker who showed up to my house, and coming out of that I had to deal a lot with the court system and just the general reactions of people who found out that I was working through that." Grant named the film after someone told her she had been lucky to escape her stalker without further physical or psychological injuries. So Grant reimagined her experiences into a violent slasher/satire about rape culture, a visceral tour of violation, where her character fights the same life or death battle. If you enjoy home invasion terrors like Hush or The Strangers, Lucky offers another impressive tale with deeper twists on the cyclical nature of violence and the power of terrifying memories. Number 7. I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Charlie Kaufman wrote the box office success Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which many critics regard as one of the best films of the early 21st century, and remains the most profitable work in his career. Talk about high expectations for I'm Thinking of Ending Things. This adaptation of Ian Reid's acclaimed novel of the same name takes a labyrinthine approach to the analysis of the human condition, most notably for Kaufman, the analysis of white male self-pity. On the surface, the film follows a young woman who goes on a trip with her boyfriend to meet his parents, but the trip works as a narrative skeleton for Kaufman to paint a true psychological thriller. Jessie Buckley, who plays the young woman, indulges the audience with her inner monologue, which continually returns to the phrase and title, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. And in true thriller fashion, Kaufman offers a skewed slant on reality for the viewers who can stomach his eccentric plot. Number 6. Saint Maud. The debut film from writer-director Rose Glass, Saint Maud follows hospice nurse Maud, a recent convert to Roman Catholicism, who becomes convinced God sent her to save the soul of a former dancer in her care. Sounds like a Christian coming-of-age film, until things take a razor-sharp turn on the borders of horror, satire, and psychodrama. Like other paranormal films, Saint Maud uses a troubled young woman who comes to believe God, or maybe the devil, worked through her to save others. But Glass focuses on how this belief comes to manifest itself, using pseudo-paranormal elements to deliver an undertone of desperation, specifically the innate desperation for a purpose greater than herself. Number 5. Host. Do you ever wonder what would happen if you performed a seance with your friends over Zoom? Rob Savage gives us an answer through his film Host. After a short prank skit which featured a handful of the host cast went viral across social media, Savage developed the concept into a feature-length film. Good directors embrace limitations, and Rob Savage has proven more than his worth. He shot the movie over 12 weeks on Zoom during the initial COVID-19 pandemic. The cast and crew set up their own cameras, lighting, and stunts to create an effective and atmospheric chiller for quarantine times. Rather than filming a movie about a virus with clear parallels to COVID-19, Host shows how social isolation can make any traumatic experience all the more horrifying, with relatable characters who draw you into their joint Zoom seance. Number 4. His House. Remy Weeks writes his first debut film, His House, a British-Nigerian project which details the lives of South Sudan refugees Ball and Rial, who struggle to adjust to their new life in London. The catch? An evil presence lurks beneath the surface of the quaint English town, and because of their refugee status, Ball and Rial cannot vacate the home, no matter what, even if strange voices and stranger figures start to come out of the walls. His House features excellent performances with much to say about the ongoing refugee crisis and offers a fresh new voice to the haunted house subgenre. Number 3. Color Out of Space. Color Out of Space, a cosmic horror written by Richard Stanley, seems just as narcotic as the title implies. Based on the short story Color Out of Space by H.P. Lovecraft, Nathan Gardner, played by Nicolas Cage, and his family find themselves battling an extraterrestrial organism that infects their minds and bodies after a meteor lands in the front yard of their farm. This event transforms their quiet rural life into a technicolor nightmare. Wait, did I mention the LSD? Color Out of Space veers from the traditional rhythm of horror to a trippy and grotesque vision of the New England wilderness. Science fiction and cosmic horror elements make for a beautiful mind-bending reality-warping baby, or just one big acid trip. Number 2. The Invisible Man. Any movie starring Elizabeth Moss, the queen of peak TV, ought to be a good movie. Moss plays a Cecilia Cass, the ex-girlfriend of a millionaire inventor turned high-tech gaslighter who intends to erase her humanity as effectively as he has obscured his own visibility. Yes, the crazy dude can turn invisible. The Invisible Man offers a lot more to think about than a typical horror film. A real psychological thriller gets into your head, and The Invisible Man imbues a classic horror story with real-life terror to accomplish just that. Number 1. The Quiet Place 2. Who knew Jim Halpert from The Office could write such a remarkable film series? Following the events of the first movie, A Quiet Place, the Abbott family must now face the terrors of the outside world as they continue their fight for survival in silence. A Quiet Place 2 expands on the world and introduces new characters who add to the complexity of the environment. The sequel certainly meets the expectations of its predecessor, balancing the demands of the genre and the emotional impact of the family drama. Do you agree with these picks? Leave a list of your top horror movies down below. Want to see more content? Hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay up to date with the best of top 10. What do you want to see next?